So today guys, we're going to be building an $800 gaming PC that plays everything at 1440p. Now of course, links to everything will be in the description below, and let's get right into it. Okay, so starting with the CPU, we have the Ryzen 5 5600, which you can get for around $145. Now, this is one of my favorite CPUs, especially in that kind of mid-range pricing, because for the performance, you get really good numbers. And of course, since RAM prices are absolutely terrible, which we will get a little bit later, it still is on the DDR4 platform, so we can save a little bit there. But overall, it has 6 cores, 12 threads, and for what we're targeting in 1440p gaming, it should work completely fine. But yeah, for $145, still a really solid choice. Okay, so for the motherboard, we have the ASUS Prime B580MA Wi-Fi Mark II, and you can get this for around $90 to $95. Now, the reason why there is a range, and you can actually go with 3 different options here, is because the motherboard prices for the B550M change so much. So for example, this motherboard kind of fluctuates between the $90 to $95 range, but right now, one of the other options, which is the GIGABYTE B550MK, is currently going for $85, so that is the cheapest choice. But sometimes the MSI B550M PRO-VDH also goes on sale, and that's another option you can go with as well. The B550Ms just seem to be changing prices all the time, so I want to make sure that you can get the cheapest price no matter what's going on. So if you go with the ASUS or the MSI or the GIGABYTE, they are all pretty similar. If you actually check the motherboard tier list, the MSI ones are a little bit higher, but with the parts we're using, any of these motherboards are going to be solid choices. Now, for everyone's favorite part, we have RAM. And you guys, if you've been watching a ton of my videos, you know I've been using this kit of RAM for pretty much every build. And the reason why I've been using the T-Force Vulcan Z 16GB 3200 MHz kit is simply because RAM prices are so bad right now. Of course, I could go out and just buy a RAM kit, but honestly, I don't really want to spend $120 on another kit just for it to perform the exact same as this one. So you actually have 2 options here. Number 1, you can go on Amazon and buy a new kit like this, and you can get that for around, as I said, kind of around that $100 to $130 range. But the way I would actually recommend for most of you guys to do is go on the used market. You can go on sites like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, and try to get a good deal on a kit similar to this. So aim for anything between 3000 and 3600 megahertz speeds, and aim for 16 gigabytes. And of course, you're going to save a ton of money here, which is why I recommend it the most. Now, for another part that has also gone up in price, we have the SSD. Now, this is the WD Blue SN5100 500GB NVMe SSD, and this is going for $130 on Amazon right now. And yeah, going for a 500GB SSD at that price is absolutely not worth it. So I'm going to link a couple options down below that you can choose from that are going to be similar to this storage size, so around 500GB and at a much better price. I think the one I have linked below right now is the T-Force G50, which you can get for around $86. Now, $86 for 500GB is still really bad, but at least it's not $130, which this is currently going for. And yeah, 2026 is definitely not a good year for building a gaming PC, but of course we still have some options, and this is just one of them. So for the case, we have the darkFlash Micro-ATX case, which you can get for around $67. Now, this is one of my favorite Micro-ATX cases to build in. Number 1, it comes with 3 RGB fans built in, so airflow right out of the box is pretty good. Also, it's just really simple to build in, especially if this is your first time building a PC. This case is really easy to work with. And of course, it has that fishbowl style, which I know a lot of you guys like, and you can see all the parts inside. And overall, for the price, it is a really solid choice. It did go up in price just a little bit, but honestly, it's still worth that $67. Now for the power supply, we have the MSI Mag A650BN, which you can get for around $60. And now this power supply I've used in a ton of different builds, and it's worked completely fine. 650 watts is more than enough for the GPU and CPU we're pairing with, and honestly, it's just a perfect choice. And yeah, it has an 80+ bronze rating, which of course isn't the highest, but for what we're using it for, it will be completely fine. And yeah, honestly, just a pretty solid power supply. It comes with all the connectors you need, so really, it's just a good choice. now for everyone's favorite part, we have the GPU, which is the Intel Arc B580. Now you can get this for around $260, and really it's still one of the best value GPUs you can get right now. The reason for that is number one, it can play games at 1440p, and it also has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which is really good to see. Of course, the GPU is still relatively new, so you still get a ton of driver updates, and Intel has worked really hard on fixing all of the issues that they had when it launched, so really this is a solid card. And yeah, with all the parts that we're pairing it with the 5600, the 16 gigabytes of RAM, really it's a solid choice, and you guys will see that in the benchmarks just in a little bit. Yeah guys, that is the entire $800 build, and the total for this build exactly came out to $818, which really for the performance we're getting is really good. So of course, I'll show you guys all the benchmarks so you guys can see how it performs. Alright guys, so for the first game, we are on Fortnite, and we are running at DX12 on the low preset, of course at 1440p, and right now FPS is around 230, yeah, sitting around the 200 FPS range, which is pretty good. Of course, if we were on performance mode, we'd probably be able to get 350 FPS, which is really solid. So if you have a 240 hertz monitor, 1440p, you should be completely fine. And wow, we just one shot that guy. Oh shoot. Oh okay, wait, hang on. This guy's not too bad here. But yeah, overall, in terms of latency, it feels really smooth. I mean, there's no delays at all. Feels like the game is running really well. Doesn't seem like we're getting any spikes. Everything seems to be very smooth, which is good. So if you're trying to play a game like Fortnite, an esports title, you'll have no issues whatsoever. Oh, shoot. Just people coming out of nowhere. Okay. Hitting 90s. I have no mats for this. Okay. Oh, hello. Hang on, watch this. Oh, he has one himself. Oh, there you are. What the heck? Like, I couldn't find his... Okay. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, you just pickaxed him. Uh-oh. Oh, one pumped. Oh, shoot. Okay. This guy's just running. Oh, it doesn't phase. Okay. Oh, I sold. Oh, I sold the clip. Okay. Well, had 1 HP, but almost won it. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game and see how the performance is there. Okay, so now we are in Arc Raiders. We are running this game at 1440p using the medium preset, and we aren't using any kind of XeSS or upscaling or frame generation. We are running this completely natively. And as you can see, FPS is kind of jumping around. It seems like we're kind of in that 80 to 100 range. But yeah, with no upscaling and no kind of frame generation, even at medium, at 1440p, this game looks really good. Of course, textures in the background aren't fully loaded in. They kind of look like blobs. But I actually just recently ran this game on the RX 580, which didn't look too great, especially at 1080p using FSR. So seeing this at native resolution looks really nice. As I was mentioning in my RX 580 video while playing this game, I have no idea what's going on, to be honest with you. I kind of just run around. If I see somebody, I try to kill them. Usually I just get destroyed by like an AI or a robot, and some kind of like drone kills me. So forgive me me for not knowing what's going on, but yeah, performance-wise, it's pretty solid. Of course, if we lower this down to the low preset and then put some FSR or XeSS because we're using the Intel Arc, definitely would get some higher FPS, especially if you're trying to prioritize that. I would definitely recommend that. But yeah, even at native medium 1440p, this is really, really good. It's smooth. I know there's like no action going on, but probably won't be a big hit to FPS anyways. Okay, so maybe I can try to figure out what's going on or try to find someone potentially, but I think I've died like 3 or 4 times in this game, and most of the times it wasn't even a real person. It was literally just some kind of bot or AI. I know this game is really hot. It seems like all the new all the streamers are playing it, but yeah, I just haven't had the time to really learn it. I'm sure if I put a couple hours into it, potentially could be pretty decent, but you know, not really my type of game, and that's okay. But yeah, guys, you guys are seeing the performance, so we're gonna move on to a game that maybe I'm a little better at and actually know what's going on. But yeah, let's get right on to it. Okay, guys, so we are now in Marvel Rivals, and we are running at 1440p on the low preset and also using FSR3 balanced. And right now we are sitting around 120 FPS, it seems like it is, and that's pretty typical for Marvel Rivals. This game is pretty hard to run, and since we are running at 1440p, definitely makes things a little bit worse. But yeah, performance, it feels really, really smooth. Okay, wait, hang on. I'm about to die here. Let me change it to the Hulk here. But yeah, basically, performance feels, you know, like latency-wise, I mean, it feels okay. I'm super dead here. Okay, I'm getting distracted, but performance, it feels smooth. Of course, the FPS is a little bit lower, especially for a game like this, but Marvel Rivals is notably, you know, a really hard game to run. So honestly, not too surprised here that we're running at this kind of FPS. Let's change it to the Hulk here, see if we can... Okay, like... I'm basically taking a 1v5, so my 750 health just gets eliminated immediately. Okay, we're actually kind of pushing it back here. I'm dead here. Okay. You know what? I think that's enough Marvel Rivals. We're going to move on to the next game. Okay, guys, so we are now... Alright guys, so we are now in CSGO 2. We're running at the high preset at 1440p, and yeah, this game, okay, we are getting absolutely destroyed, but yeah, game looks great. FPS is around... Wow. FPS is around 100 FPS. Seems like it kind of fluctuates. We're at like 70 now, but seems like FPS is usually around the hundreds, which is pretty good. Of course, most of you guys are not going to be running this game at low preset or at the high preset anyways. You're probably going to be running it at low, so definitely could easily get way higher, probably 250, even closer to 300 FPS if you know, tweak the settings. If you're trying to prioritize visuals, of course, this looks a lot better. Game looks really, really good. But yeah, probably most of you guys are gonna be playing on stretch res, you know, so it doesn't really matter too much. I just realized though, even now the FPS has kind of gone way up. We're around like 170, 160 FPS now, so game feels really, really smooth. Yeah, it seems like it's fluctuating a lot, which is now, because now we're at like 100. Okay, yeah, so game's fluctuating a lot, but overall, even with those jumps, it still feels really, really smooth. So that's what's good. Okay. Oh my gosh. Bro. Okay, so we're gonna hint on that, and we're gonna move on to the last game. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, so we are now in COD Warzone. We are running at 1440p on the balanced preset using XeSS balanced. And right now we're hanging around the kind of 100 FPS range, which makes sense. You know, Warzone is kind of harder to run, but you know, most of you guys are probably going to be running this at lower settings anyways. You're probably going to be using the basic preset and then running maybe even dynamic resolution, stuff like that. But yeah, overall performance is really pretty decent for what Warzone is. Everything feels smooth, latency is good, so let's try to get some kills. You guys just saw that I just killed the guy with a sniper. He just gave me a jump scare, but yeah, let's try to get some kills here so you guys can see kind of more what the performance is like when we're actually fighting. Okay, I almost sold that. Okay, nice. Okay. This is not a good look. This is not a good look. And we're done. All right. But yeah, you guys saw performance is kind of in the 100 range. Of course, if you did some more optimizations, you could probably get some little bit better performance there. But yeah, let's end off this video and kind of wrap things up. But yeah, guys, that is the performance on the $800 gaming PC. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.